Alright, so in this creation tutorial, I show you how I created DeAndre Ayton for NBA2K18 for the PS4. And if you want to find my draft, it is Jack Move, all lowercase letters, 916. This is my 2018 mock draft. Okay, we'll start off with vitals. Okay, his name is important when you're looking up how to create his face, his jumper, get information on him. So it's something you want to make sure and get correctly. Okay, so how did I know his birth date and stuff? We come over to here. And where are we at? Right there. Okay, this is just one of the draft sites I use. But NBA2K18 is always the most accurate. Oh, that's cool. It's always the most accurate draft that I've found. It's updated the most often. I use NBA2K18, which you just type in 2018 mock draft. Come down here, we click on DeAndre Ayton. It gives a full scouting report. It gives his birth date, height, wingspan, everything. And then here is NBA Draft Room. They have their own little scouting report. So I get a nice little scouting report on what they do, and that's where I get the birth date, the weight, the height. Sometimes they're a little off. Sometimes one will say 7'1", one will say 7. I usually go with the one that's taller. See, this one says 7'1", 250 for the ESPN site. And then I go down here after clicking on statistics, and that's where I can find his stats like free throw percentage, 3-point percentage, stuff like that. Now, most guys are not going to dunk with both hands. And as far as peak and peak end, it's usually right around 25 to start. If you want with bigs, most bigs, you usually start a little later. But I just usually put 25 to 35 for the very few star players, potential star players, and then I do up to 25 to 30, 25, 31, depending on if they're second round. Okay, so play types, like I discussed with Marvin Bagley, you don't need to put three-pointer in there. Okay, they are going to shoot threes by how much tendency you give them and stuff like that. If you don't give them tendencies to shoot threes at all, they're not going to shoot threes, but you don't need to give them a play. NBA 2K doesn't with their bigs that shoot threes. I don't even think Porzingis, well, no, Porzingis might have that, but I'm not sure if he even does. Okay, so then we go to body. There's the body. The wingspan, like I discussed with Marvin Bagley, right around a 40 to 42 wingspan would be about an inch or two more wingspan than their height. 54 is more around a 5-inch, maybe, more wingspan than their height. Meaning if he's 7'1", he's got about a 76-inch wingspan. Shoulders, 50 is about average. A big, solid, big guy. I usually don't go over that. When you do shoulder width, that also means their body width. If you have really skinny shoulders, it kind of makes the body look smaller. Well, maybe not really, I guess. Just makes them look skinny. Okay, body length, I usually always go with about 38. That's what seems to be the closest to realistic. And then for heads, how do I get his face looking the way I think is some of the more accurate looking faces? Again, we come over to the computer, and instead of Google searching 2000 NBA 18 mock draft, I Google search DeAndre Ayton, where's the thing at? Arizona Basketball. And it'll bring a bunch of videos, it'll bring up image results. I always go with videos. So how did I find his jumper? From right here. This is a good video of him hitting his jumper. See how he kind of jumps forward? Kind of jumps forward like that. With the right leg kind of sticks out forward a little bit too. Now, a lot of guys that I've seen actually do, they all use jump shot 23, but they use different ones. One guy had a release one guy had Gallinari. I kind of like Steph Curry. Now, of course, DeAndre Ayton is no Steph Curry, don't get me wrong, but this looks the most accurate. So how do you fix that? Well, you just don't give him 99 on, you know, shooting free, and you should be fine. Okay, so now back to the looks. I was already on this video, so I just wanted to show you guys his jumper. Okay, here's one from 20, oh no, that was 24 days, that was wrong. I thought it said 24 hours. Okay, so this is 12 days ago, this video. This is DeAndre Ayton 24 days ago. Now, you can see how his nose is and how he's got the little dip right here. Now, his eyebrows are difficult because he has thick eyebrows, but it looks like he kind of shaves them or something right here. So they're like half eyebrows. Now, his haircut's difficult too because they do not have this hairstyle. Now, when he turns his head, and there's this new, you know, beard. When he turns his head, let's see if I can get a picture here. You can actually see he's starting to grow kind of a Alonzo Trier style, you know, like that mohawk, faux hawk type deal. So they don't have a baby type faux hawk in this mohawk, whatever the heck they're calling it in this. But there's his hair and there's his face really good. So let's come back here. Oop. Set my camera up right there. And as you can see, I really thought that this is the more accurate one. Kind of jumping forward, right leg kind of out. And then, of course, big with him. Marvin Bagley, I do normal, just because he's so athletic. And we got his free throws, signature moves, jump shooting, layups and dunks. Karl Anthony Towns is what I went with his post game. I usually go with signature moves, post game moves, dribble moves, all of that based on NBA 2K players. They do specific signature moves per position, whether they're good, whether they're rookies, whether they're top players. They all have somewhat similar signature moves, and that's what I usually go by. Okay, I do a lot of research on signature moves and all that. I give them about 5 badges. NBA 2K doesn't give their rookies any type of hot zones, so I don't either. Right around after 10 games, 15 games, when I'm playing my leagues, that's when I usually make up my hot zones based on how my guy's playing, and that's just what I do. You know, tendencies, I do pretty much by, you know, looking up and researching again how NBA 2K does tendencies. Now, spot up and off-screen shots makes up along with driving on if he's going to shoot it or if he's going to drive to the basket. So you got to really watch out for that. Some guys don't drive to the basket a whole lot. Some guys do. How do you know that if you're not watching video? Well, you can tell usually by free throw percentage. If they're going to the free throw line, you know, 5, 6, 7 times a game, then there's a good chance they are driving to the basket a lot. Now that doesn't mean, like, for example, Trae Young, he drives to the basket a lot, but you get him behind the three-point line, and he's most likely going to shoot it. Okay. So, when I do, like, shot 3, let's give him a little more. He's been shooting a little bit more lately. If they shoot once, if they shoot twice, if they shoot 3 times a game, that's how I do this. If they're shooting like 7 to 10 threes a game, usually the max that I'll put this at is 55. Spot up, again, off screen. You know, big guys a lot of times are not going to shoot off the screen. They're going to, you know, they're not going to do basically an off dribble 3. Okay, they're not that coordinated to do that. They're going to do spot up 3s if they're going to hit a 3. Okay, so that's how you do tendencies. Layups and all that, pretty much explanatory with all these stats. Yeah, I've really done a lot of research on how NBA2K does it to try to bring you guys the most accurate possible rookie drafts. I already talked about signature moves, hot zones, shoes and gear, you know, from watching video again, attributes. Usually what I do with attributes is if they're going to the line a lot, I'll give them 70, 75. If they're not going to the line a lot, I usually give them a minimal of about 50. Now some guys will have contested jump shot the same as open jump shot. Bigs almost always have off dribble shots way lower, 50 to 40. I gave him a little bit more, and I gave Bagley a little bit more, closer to like a Karl Anthony Towns. I think Anthony Davis is rated really high on this. But that's how I do that. Free throws, 70%. He gets a 70. I think he's actually up to a 72 now, though. Passing, you know, if they have a few assists, if they're capable of passing, I'll do like a 40 to a 50. Rebounding, if they're rebounding like he does, like 11, I'll usually give them closer to 80. If they're not rebounding that high, like if they're only rebounding, say, 7 rebounds a game, I'll usually give them closer to 60, 50 or 60. So, I mean, I've figured out pretty much all the percentages to try to get them to play the way they're playing. Now, shot IQ, along with offensive consistency and shot tendency, if they're shooting 20, I'll give them an 80. If they're shooting 25 points a game, I'll give them 85. If they're doing 30 points a game, oh wait, no, let's see, no. No, I go 80 for 20, and then 90 for 25, 99 for 30 plus. And then it would also be 70 for 15 points a game, and 60 for 10 points a game. And if they're below 10 points a game, I usually do like a 50. Sometimes even 40. So that's how I do all that. Blocks and steals, if they're averaging 1 block a game, I do 60. If they're averaging 1 steal a game, I do 60. And then 0.3 or 3 attributes per 0.1. So like if it's 1.5, I'll give them a 75 on block or 75 on steal. And like I said in the Marvin Bagley video, I will give them more for, what is that called? Where are we looking at here? Oh, it's on tendency. I give them more for the interception steal than I would in the actual on-ball steal. Like if I give him 46, he's probably only got like an on-ball steal. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Yeah, see, I only gave him an on-ball steal of 28 because he's not going to get a steal more than likely off an on-ball steal. He's probably more than likely going to get a pass interception steal. And then fouls, I give him fouls based on the personal fouls on the stats. I really do a lot of work at these to try to give you guys the most accurate drafts. Okay, and that should do it. And again, like I said, no hot zones. I try to cut back on the badges. And that will be the creation of DeAndre Ayton. Alright guys, peace.